Hey folks, Curtis Stone here. I wanted to make a quick video about some basic techniques, really simple stuff for chopping firewood that could save you a ton of time and a ton of work and a ton of strain on your back. This is just a sliver of the type of content that is in my new online firewood course that I've put together. It covers everything to do with firewood. Techniques, tools, equipment, managing stoves, types of wood, everything from hardwood to softwood, the BTUs in the wood, everything. Even I've got an in-depth section showing my wood stoves in my new home, and one of those stoves has a water radiator on it that's tied into my whole domestic hot water system so that I can heat all the water for my hot water needs with one stove and cook on it and heat the house at the same time. So stuff like that. There'll be a link below the video, or at the end of this video, there'll be a trailer for it. Check that out. But I wanted to do a quick video on techniques for splitting and a couple of things that I do that can save you a ton of work and time and, as I said, strain on your back. So let's get into it. First thing first, some of the infrastructure you see right around me. First thing you might notice is, what's this tire? This tire makes splitting a lot faster, and you'll see why shortly. The basic idea is that when you split around, it doesn't all drop to the ground. Typically, when people are splitting on a chopping block, they split, then they got to pick up one of the halves and split it again. So you're handling the same wood twice. This eliminates that, keeps it all in one place so that you can load really quick. Second thing you might notice is this cube. This is a cube system that I've developed over the years. I use a 48 by 48 inch pallet, and I just use scrap 2x4s. And I've had a lot over the years because of all the concrete work I've done. And I've been able to build these entirely from scrap materials. Other people like to use IBC totes. Those are great too if you got them. But I have so much excess pallets and 2x4s from the construction I've done over the last 5 years here that this has been a very useful use to get a second and third use of that wood. And that's what you see here. So they're cubes. I lift them with my skid steer. You might have a tractor or the front end loader, do the same thing. This is my system for firewood storage on my homestead. The great thing about these is, because I do a lot of my own firewood on my property, I've got 30 acres of forest here. There's a lot of thinning, there's a lot of deadfall, and my driveway kind of goes along, covers edge to edge of my property. I've got great access with it. And so I'm able to pull logs out, leave them near a driveway, and then I can bring this whole splitting station down to where my wood is, right where I've pulled it from the bush. I can buck it there, split it, load it, it's done. I don't have to handle it again until it goes into the wood stove. That's what this system allows me to do. So you got to have a machine to do it, of course, but it saves a lot of extra handling, which I love. Two other pieces of equipment, or tools, I should say, is the splitting maul. I use a maul. Some people use an axe. There's different cases to be made on either, but I'm going to show you how using a maul is very ergonomically easy. It's very little effort needs to be put into splitting. We'll get into that in a minute. That's an 8-pound maul. And then I've also got a 4-pound hammer mallet here, which is when your maul gets stuck in the round, often on the first hit. A few taps with this thing allows you, it saves you from pulling your maul out and hitting it again. Sort of path of least resistance, if you will. So let's start with, let's get into technique. A lot of people who split firewood, and I see this because there's a lot of people that make videos, and perhaps it's not the best representation of people who split firewood on day to day, because people are often just making content for the sake of making content. That's the world we live in today. But I see people throwing an axe like they're the god of war, and they're holding it like this with two hands, and they're swinging, putting a massive strain on your lower back. Very, very not sustainable technique to do for a long time. If you want to be in the bush for the rest of your life, which is my plan, you want to work smart over working hard, and letting the tool and your weight do the work is key here. So let's demonstrate that. Let's grab a round. I've got some larch here. Larch is my favorite type of firewood. You'll know it's larch if it's a little bit of a white or yellow, whereas fir is a bit darker. In my climate here, I'm in Douglas fir area of the Boreal Forest, southern BC, Canada, 1,000 meters of elevation. And fir is probably, where I am specifically, about 80% of the wood around me. The other 20% is a mix of larch, pine, ponderosa pine, a little bit of spruce, and some cedar. But mostly it's Douglas fir. So I don't mind fir, but if I can get larch, I prefer it. And there's certain parts of my region here that are larch heavy. And larch is the best softwood firewood. It's the highest BTUs. It's the hardest of the softwoods. And in fact, it's the only deciduous softwood or evergreen. It's a beautiful tree and it makes the best firewood. It doesn't have a lot of branches. It's not sappy like fir. Fir is very sappy and knotty because it has a lot of branches, which is annoying. So when you load a round, there's often a split in the round. And so what I like to do is put that split away from me, and then I'm going to split it on the other side of the split so that the round splits it a little easier. So with my technique here, it's all about, I'm right-handed. So my dominant hand is going to be, my right hand is going to be here on the bottom of the maul. And my left hand, offhand, is going to be up here holding the head of the maul. All I'm going to do is throw it with my left hand. And then my right hand guides it. And my left hand will slide down the handle as the maul comes down. The other thing that's happening at the same time is I'm stepping forward. And all of the power of thrust for this technique comes from how much I step forward. If I'm going to throw it really hard, I'm going to step further forward and drop my foot. But for the most part, this wood is pretty dry and it's relatively easy splitting. I don't have to do much with this left leg at all. So just take a look at the technique here. Very little effort put into that. I'll do one more and I might be able to split it right away. Not quite, but close. And now this is where the mallet comes in. See, that gets my split. Now the rest of the round, if I just give this a little clockwise or counterclockwise turn, that splits it really good. Now the rest of this will split very easily. I barely need to put any effort into this. You see, it's all about the throw. Done. Very, very easy. Now it's all in one place. So when I go to load it, it's real easy. With this cube system, I can hold half a cube. It's 4 by 4 by 4. It's a half cord. A cord is 8 by 4 by 4. But there's different types of cords. There's face cords and whatnot. But I'm talking about a true cord is 8 by 4 by 4. So here's another round. This one has a smaller split in it. Tough one. Might take another shot at it. So sometimes when your maul gets stuck, the easiest way to get it out is push down like that with your dominant hand. So good enough. Split. I typically walk clockwise around the round, you'll notice, because I'm right-handed. Stepping left foot is what's more natural because this hand here is on the outside. So you can see, this is a fairly efficient system. And I have very little movement to make. That's the big benefit of this cube system, is it's all right there. So that's the basics of this technique. When I'm all set up properly like this, I can split a cord in about an hour to an hour and a half. Sometimes the density of the wood or the dryness of the wood can vary. And so sometimes splitting takes a little longer or shorter. This stuff's pretty good material right now, so I'd say I could probably split about a cord in an hour if I just focus and go at it. But I often will just split about a half a cord at a time, because that's one of these cubes. This could be 2 to 3 weeks of firewood, depending on the time of the year and what building I'm heating. My new house, opposed to my cabin, is significantly more efficient, even though it's 4 times the floor space. I'm burning maybe a cord a month. So I'll probably go through 4 cords this year, but probably even less. Probably for the whole operation, 4 cords. But in previous years when I was living in the cabin, we would burn 6 cords in that cabin in a year. But that's older building, lower insulation value, roof significantly lower insulation value. So all these things matter. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there, folks. There's going to be a trailer that plays for my firewood course next. Check it out. Maybe I'll see you in there. We all know that firewood is critical to any homestead, especially if you live in a cold climate. But when you're at the very start of your homesteading journey and it's the first season on your land, to be honest, is firewood at the forefront of your mind? The truth is, there are so many other things to consider when you're rushing towards winter and building your homestead that firewood is often left to the last minute. For those of us already on the land, we've been there, trust me. So why not let us share with you some strategies that'll help you be more efficient, waste less time, and know for certain that your family will be warm in the winter. My name is Curtis Stone, and over the last 10 years, I've helped thousands of individuals and families across North America learn how to homestead. And here's the thing, there's so much to think about with homesteading that basic skills are often overlooked or simply forgotten about. And firewood is one of those skills. If you live in a cold climate where a stove is a non-negotiable, you want to make sure that you're prepped and ready for when the temperature drops. In my masterclass, I'll teach you how to select the best firewood in your area for heat, burn time, and minimal smoke and smell. I'll also teach you different techniques for splitting, kindling, and storage with the goal of maximizing your efficiency and time spent. I'll then show you how to best operate your wood stove, reduce smoke, increase burn time, and maximize heat dispersion. It doesn't matter if you live in North America, Europe, or in any other cold climate, you'll be able to apply what you learn to where you live. This will completely change how you think about firewood, prep, and storage. You'll be faster, you'll be more confident, and you'll be warm. Join me. I look forward to seeing you in the course.